I'm Laree Williamson, CEO of Agriculture for Life. I'm in southern Alberta today at the beautiful farmhouse of McKay to make a very special announcement about a new partnership with Agriculture for Life and connectFirst Credit Union. So Turner, tell us a little bit about your property.
Yeah, so my farm is about 2 miles to the west from here, and it's a 4,000 acre cash crop farm. It was started in 1908, so we celebrated our 100-year anniversary back in 2008. When I take over the farm, I'll be a fifth generation taking over the operation, and we farm continuous crop of canola, peas, spring wheat, and durum.
So now when you say we,
yeah,
mom, dad, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, so we're about 4,000 acres, and right now it's just me, my dad, my mom, and my sister.
Yeah.
Sister's going to school down in Lethbridge, so she helps out when she can, and for the most part it's me, my mom, and my dad that kind of run everything ourselves. So.
Wow, so you guys are busy.
Yeah, come seeding and harvest, it's definitely a busy time on the farm, and long nights and long days, but we get the crop in ourselves, and yeah, it's a good little family operation. So
nice. And whose home site? Was it mom or dad's family?
So it was my dad's family that originally homesteaded. The original homestead was actually just a half mile to the east, but the main farmyard moved to its current location, and yeah, we've been farming there ever since. So
wow. So born and raised Albertan,
yeah.
On the farm, loving the farm. Obviously, you're going to at some point plan to take over the operations.
Yeah. Dad and I are 50-50 partners right now on the farm. So we make our decisions together, and that's some days that's good, some days that's bad. But that's just family dynamics for you. But yeah, no, my plan is definitely to take over the farm. I love agriculture and everything it has to offer, and that includes my current role at the credit union, which the credit union's been more than generous in making sure I have the time off to go and farm and keep my family farm in my name, and yeah.
And that's what's spectacular about having that opportunity to work the farm. And then let's talk a little bit about your role with connectFirst. So what do you do? I mean, they've got employees that are living and breathing agriculture and then working with the farming community. So tell me a little bit about your role with connectFirst.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a senior agriculture advisor with connectFirst Credit Union. And so really what that entails is anything financially related to a farming operation is something that I can help any members or pre-members try to sit down and work out. So the majority of my time is spent working in the credit side of things, so helping people get the financing they need to make the capital expenditures or operating capital they need to work throughout the year. But really it encompasses anything and everything from succession planning to sitting down and figuring out whether movement into a new type of cropping rotation or anything like that, sitting down and penciling that out and making sure it's going to come out profitable for them. That's really what my role is at the credit union, is to be that financial advisor for any agricultural operation. So,
and that's fabulous, because again, you've got the blood, sweat, and tears behind it, and when you're talking to your clients, the realities of agriculture.
Yeah, I mean, you said earlier that today's a nice, beautiful spring day, but yesterday here on the farm, it definitely wasn't. I mean, we had 120 kilometer an hour winds, haven't had any significant moisture for a month and a bit, and my phone's ringing off the hook from members saying, hey, do I still have the operating capital if I have to reseed my canola, and really worried about this wind, we have no moisture. And it's a lot easier to have those conversations with a banker or a financial advisor that's living those same struggles with you. The guys are on the phone with me and I'm going, yeah, I was just out yesterday looking at my own canola. It's just popping up and they're calling for frost and snow and wind, and this isn't good, but I'm here with you. Like I'm sitting in the same chair you are when I'm talking to my financial advisor at the credit union to talk about my own operation. So I understand the struggles you're going through. And I think that's really been invaluable for me being able to provide that level of service to my membership, is to make sure that they know that I'm going through the same struggles that they are, or I'm thinking about the same business planning opportunities that they are. So it's a lot easier to have that shop talk and a lot easier to discuss those little uniquities that maybe somebody who grew up in Toronto or downtown Calgary and wouldn't know the difference between a combine or a tractor if they had to pick one out of a lineup. It's nice to have a financial advisor that understands just the innate qualities of your operation.
Yeah, and to play on connectFirst you're connected,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Connected to the industry, which I think is fantastic. You live down in southern Alberta, and you've got a territory that is quite vast,
Yeah.
actually, and diverse. When you think about Alberta agriculture, just driving from central to northern to southern Alberta, there's a lot that's happening. So
Yeah.
you'd be very busy with a lot of different farms.
Yeah, and that's really one of the things that I love about agriculture is it is so diverse even within its own industry, right? I deal with similar operations to mine, which are just continuous cash cropping operations, to 20,000 head feedlots, to dairy feedlots, to dairy operations, pig barns, poultry barns. There's a lot of different diversity in agriculture, even within our own membership, but even within the broader scope of Alberta agriculture. So.
Well, and we're super excited. As we said, we're sitting here today because we as Ag for Life are, of course, delivering programs, continuing to delivering programs around agriculture, educating Albertans around the role of agriculture, how food makes it from gate to plate, having the wonderful opportunity of showcasing Alberta farmers and ranchers and really advocating and promoting the industry. And connectFirst is going through a rebranding, if you will, if I could.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of excitement and advertising, and we're super excited to have connectFirst as a partner, a new partner with Ag for Life, really committed to agriculture in the industry. So can you give us a little bit of insight into what agriculture does mean to connectFirst?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like your standard politician and give the standard answer, which is agriculture really is the backbone of the Alberta economy, but it truly, truly is. And I think the thing that sets connectFirst apart from the other financial institutions is we are fully invested in agriculture, and we aren't diving in when times are good, when crop prices are good, moisture is good, and diving out when guys are running into trouble. That's the innate structure of the credit union, of it being a cooperative and having our members, our clients, as other financial institutions say, be owners within our own institution. We have a vested interest in seeing them succeed, because when they succeed, and we return the favor back to our membership. So, agriculture is one of the biggest portfolios that we have within our credit union system ourselves, and that's something that we really want to try to expand, because, I mean, my own farm, we used to bank at a different Big Five financial institution, and it was really difficult when you were going for a new loan after a couple of years of drought, and you had some person in downtown Toronto who was looking at your application who really didn't understand your operation or why you were needing the money, how come you weren't making money these past couple of years. And one of the benefits of the credit union is that we do have that local decision-making autonomy, so that we, just like I was saying earlier, where I can sit down across the table from a member and go, hey, I know we're in our 5th year of drought, my crops are feeling the same thing. It's a much easier way to write that application and speak to it to an adjudicator, because I innately understand it because I'm going through it myself, rather than have some person in Toronto just looking at numbers on a spreadsheet that say whether you're credit worthy or not. So having that local decision making power is definitely one of the biggest advantages that I think the credit union has over the other financial institutions.
Well, and I think that's so important too, because when you think about agriculture, you think about rural communities, you still remember that handshakes mean something, neighbors help each other out. That's the core values, right? You're raised a rural Albertan farm kid. You understand what that means.
Absolutely.
Right? If you give somebody a word that says, hey, you know what, I'm there for you, then you're going to be there for them, right? So how did you get into, so again, born on the farm, how did you end up working in the bank?
So my dad, my entire time I was growing up, he was very adamant that before I ever made a decision to come back to the farm, I had to go out and get an education, and whether that be within agriculture itself or in something else, I had to go and expand my horizon outside of the farm. So I went to university out in Kingston, Ontario at Queen's in the Smith School of Business, and took accounting. I tried my hand in public accounting for a while. I worked for PwC in Toronto, and then I found a job here in Lethbridge at MNP and worked in their agricultural accounting department. And that was really something the whole time I was at university that I really was trying to, my business courses we're never talking about what the price was of canola or anything like that, but trying to relate everything I was learning from a business perspective back to my own operation was something I was really trying to do. And so when I was working at MNP, it was actually our account manager at the credit union who was retiring, and she knew that I was back home, and she gave me a call and said, "Hey, would you be interested in taking my position over?" And I came down and interviewed, and got the job, and I've been here since November of 2017. So it was definitely a nice transition from accounting to the credit union. Tax time and seating don't seem to line up too well.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a lot nicer to come to the credit union, where I had a little bit more autonomy and more working on the face-to-face interactions with the members themselves, and actually being able to help provide unique solutions to their unique problems rather than just compiling numbers on a balance sheet. So it's been since November 2017, and I haven't looked back since. So
I love that though, because you got the accounting background, you got the sort of to bring that to the finance on the the credit union side of things, and then you've got the in the field. It doesn't get better than that, right?
Yeah,
So
and that's really one of the things I love about agriculture, that it really is a business. I love business. I love commerce, and I think that that's something that is changing in the zeitgeist about agriculture. Is people are looking at it more as a business. Back when my grandpa was my age, or even before that, if the business planning was maybe if you had a good year, you went and bought a brand new half ton, but if you had a drought year, you kept driving the same old crappy half ton around. But anymore, with the price of inputs, the price of equipment, fixed expenses, those, you have to have some sort of business acumen to be able to run an operation anymore. And on my email signature, I have the tagline that if you treat your farm as a way of life, it's bad business. If you treat it as a business, it can be a great way of life. And I really like that quote. I can't remember where it was from, where I first saw it, but that really is something that I love about agriculture, is it has that business, that requirement for a business acumen in it, but it also has that lifestyle component of living, working, and growing up in a small town, working alongside your family day in and day out, which has its benefits and its drawbacks.
Your dad's going to see this.
But it has that business component, but then it also has that nice rural lifestyle component to it as well, which is something that I've yearned for ever since I left home, and now that I have it back here, I'm certainly a pretty happy guy. So
absolutely. And the work that we do with Ag for Life, we talk a lot about careers and opportunities within the industry, and I think you could be the poster child, because again, you're raised on the farm, gone off to school, come back, done some transitions within. There's lots of opportunity, and you mentioned our info commercial for Alberta agriculture, that it is the backbone of our economy, and it is driving, and there's so much opportunity. Where do you see it? Have the crystal ball in front of you. Where Alberta agriculture, what's our advantage?
Well, I think one of the biggest advantages, or one of the ways I see the industry moving, is to definitely looking at supporting more locally sourced food. This is something that we've had discussions at my own, between my friends and my dad ourselves, is, looking at whether or not there's going to be a change in the industry as to how we sell our commodities. And I think there certainly is a push right now to making sure that people are sourcing their food from more local sources, and I think that's going to be a trend that's going to continue.
Yeah, I agree. We do, again, a lot of research, understanding consumer desires and the next generation. And we can obviously put everybody in their classifications and stereotype, but, having that sense of transparency, sustainability, understanding the story of food and where your food comes from is really important for consumers. And I think Albertans, farmers and ranchers, are really good at understanding and respecting that consumers want to know where their food comes from. And we have the pleasure of meeting folks such as yourselves across the province, and everybody's excited to tell their story, because it is a passion, it's a business, and everybody's working hard to make sure we have healthy, affordable, accessible food, and we thank you for that, and we thank you for taking the time to have us come to your place today and learn more about connectFirst. We're super excited about our partnership and the connection. And moving forward to support agriculture together.
Absolutely. And I think the partnership with Ag for Life is super important. where I went to school in Kingston, not a lot of my friends, had grown up on a farm or had any knowledge of a farm whatsoever. And, I think in the generation I'm from, we're starting to get to the point where you're quite a few generations removed from a farm. When my dad was my age, you probably could pick anyone off the street and it was either their parents or their grandparents that came from a farm and moved into town. So I think a partnership with an organization such as Ag for Life is really important for connectFirst to get out there and really start to show a generation that might not have that connection to agriculture anymore and might not have that innate understanding as to how their food is produced, why things are done the way that they are. So it's definitely an exciting partnership.
Absolutely, and I'll play on Connect again. I mean, it's perfect. Let's connect.
That's right.
Thanks again, and have a good year in the fields.
Thanks. I'll do my rain dance.